One of you reached out and said that you have been enjoying especially the last few videos that we have released talking about a powerful success story and how this particular creator did it, how they made their dream life come true. And we pulled out some of the ideas from her story and really unpacked that. And this particular creator said, you know, Tom, I think I get it, but then I don't. Nothing seems to be changing in my life. I'm not new to this. I've been practicing and applying and studying the law, referring to the law of assumption specifically in the Neville Goddard teachings, for many years now. And I've had some things, some success, but it just seems hot and cold, and I always seem to hit a wall. I don't know where to go from here. How do I substantially change my life and create the life of my dreams like those that you've talked about? Well, we're going to talk about this today and more. It relates to another comment that one of you made. I believe it was on our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors. And you were reaching out for help, questions, that you wanted, that your life doesn't seem to change, that you feel stuck, hopeless, and depressed, that even when you think you get it, nothing changes out there. Well, I want to talk about that because remember, this idea that I'm stuck and hopeless and depressed because my reality or life hasn't changed is backwards. The reason your life or reality or everything that you want and dream about hasn't manifested is because you assume that you're stuck, hopeless, and depressed. Do you see your source? There's no other source but you. We're going to show this today like we never have before. I want to start with the Gospel of Thomas. They make a shocking claim. These are the lost teachings, supposedly the lost teachings of Jesus, the Gnostic interpretation of his teachings. And here's the shocking claim. There are many. I love the Gospel of Thomas, but I want to use this today. I want to start here. When you know yourselves, then you'll be known. And you'll realize that you're the children of the living source. Wow. When you know yourselves, in other words, when you are aware of yourself as the one and only source and creator of your reality, then you'll be known. In other words, you'll know yourself as all that is. I love this because it's invoking the reciprocity of source. Source or God or existence already made you as all that is. It's only in your recognition of being all that is that you experience that. You create that experience. When you know yourself, when you're aware of yourself, your very own I am awareness as the source and creator of everything you want and desire, then you will be everything you want and desire. Then you'll be known. I am God knowing itself through you and as you. You'll know yourself as all that is and everything you want and desire. Remember, God or source, that great I am, can't give you what you don't give yourself. Can't give you what you deny yourself. It's reciprocal. God already gave you everything. And he guaranteed that you are by making you everything. He guaranteed that power, that source, that great creative power, that existence, guaranteed that you have everything by making you everything, as A Course in Miracles says. So when you create this idea, well, I'm stuck and hopeless, depressed because my reality and nothing changes out there. But that's backwards. Your source. Nothing changes. Everything stays the same because you create that idea that you're stuck, hopeless, and depressed. Your source, you come first. And it says here, and then you'll realize that you're children of the living source. I love how they say the living source, that one divine mind, that living consciousness or awareness. Wow. the great I am, existence itself. And then they continue, but if you don't know yourself, then you live in poverty. Wow. And you are that poverty. Wow. In other words, you are your very own reality. That's what they're saying here. So if you see yourself as someone who's hopeless and depressed and stuck, then you create that reality. You are reality. There is no other. I want to show this today. If you don't know yourself, you don't know yourself as source. That's all it is. It's not about how, it's about who. How do I do that? How do I create my reality? But it's about who are you? It's knowing yourself. It really is that. I am as I am. It's you being aware of yourself. Wow. So this particular post on Facebook is a good place to start. If we can move you, we'll move everybody. I've been struggling to manifest my desired life for 4 to 5 years. This was one of the first comments. But remember, I just want to start here. That's a story that you're creating in the now moment. You as awareness in that vertical. There you are as I am. Existence itself, the one divine mind, the first cause, reality itself, all possibilities exist within you, all versions of you, all your lives, all your experiences and frames and realities exist here and now. And you're illuminating a certain experience or frame by telling your story, by what you assume and define and believe about yourself right now. There's no evidence anywhere. It's all circumstantial. You're the only proof. So in this moment, there is no past other than the story you create. And what are you creating in this moment? You're in this now moment, you're creating a past that you've been struggling. A reality of struggling. There's no truth to it other than the truth that you give it. And a present where you're still struggling. And a future where you'll continue to struggle. You even say it here. We're going to show this. And you say here, I don't want to just manifest money, love, and health. I want everything in my life to be completely different. But here's the secret. It already is completely different. In every moment. In every moment. It is completely new, your past, present, and future in this now moment. In every moment, you're new. You're always completely new in every moment from that 0 point. Remember, you are spirit, you're consciousness. That's your true nature. You're always in 0 point. In other words, you're always all possibilities. You're always all probabilities. But you create or collapse reality into this idea of I'm not fulfilled. I'm hopeless or depressed or whatever it is, whatever that story is. So you want everything in your life to be different, but it already is. And it's you not knowing yourself as that source that creates that idea of that experience that feels like a poverty of everything. A poverty of a lack of money, a lack of health, a lack of love, and everything else. You're living in poverty, and you are that poverty because there's no separation. You are reality. I am is the only reality. And you say, it's so different. Hear this. The reality that you want, the life that you want, the world that you want is so different from who I am now. I'm struggling to imagine it. Well, there you go. That story, who you are now, is reality. And so if that life you want is different than the one that you're assuming and believing about yourself right now, that's why. You're creating that difference. You are reality. It's not outside of you. You're still treating it as something outside of you. Something to imagine and affirm and attract to you. That if you hold enough, if you imagine it enough or affirm it enough or hope for it enough, that it will happen. But your reality, it's your decision right now. And you say, here, I want people in my life, in the world, to be completely different. Well, it is. It's your world. It's your reality. They're not going to be any more different than you are. Remember, you create the reflections of your world in the people, events, and circumstances. It's all real. It's all consciousness. It's all awareness. It's all I am. It's all existence. But you determine your versions of your world in the people, events, and circumstances. They can't be any different than what you assume and believe and define yourself to be. Wow. You say it's like night and day. Yeah. But do you see you're telling that story? You're not gonna, that reflection is only gonna, you stand in front of a mirror and you don't smile. Well, that mirror cannot smile until you do. You've heard that expression. That's what it literally means. I feel stuck and hopeless and depressed. And you believe the cause of that is your life, is your circumstances, your conditions. But that's the source of it. Fulfillment is a prerequisite. Recognizing, knowing yourself as source is the prerequisite to creating and manifesting a life of your dreams. Knowing yourself as the children of that living source, one with that living source itself. And you say, when I finally think I get it, nothing changes. And I'm still experiencing the same life. But it's not getting something outside of you. It's just knowing yourself as source in every moment. So every time you tell that story, remember, you create that reality, past, present, and future in this moment. You're creating, there's no past that's fixed. You're creating that right now. There's no present that's fixed. You're creating that right now. There's no future that's fixed. There's only the now moment. This eternal now in you as reality, creating your experience of it. You are the life. As the ancients said, I am the life, I am the light, I am the world. You are your own savior. So you keep creating out of there. It feels like my desired life is impossible. There you go. It's that assumption. Your reality, all things are possible, but as the ancients said, with man, this is impossible. With that assumption of who you are, it's impossible. And you say that it's always going to just be a dream. So you create a future that never comes. Wow. There it is, right there. And this relates to another one of you who wrote, and this is all in response over the last few days. We have all of these powerful stories that some of you are sharing, that you're creating, and then others still reaching out, wanting to know, how do I do that? But it's not how, it's who. And one of you said, I've been applying the law of assumption with mixed results. Hot and cold with my specific person. Money comes and then it goes. I get a raise and then I'm struggling again. I have this nagging health issue. It goes away and then it comes back. I know it's just a story. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of practicing and applying all this stuff, but never getting anywhere where I want to be. But remember, this idea of applying the law. I've been practicing the law. I've been a student of the law. My journey has been, I found the law. Neville Goddard in the law. But the law of assumption is not the law. It's a law. It's an idea. A universal law within the one and only law. So the law is always working perfectly, but it's not what you think it is. It's not the law of assumption or the law of attraction or the law of frequency or the law of vibration or the law of correspondence or the law of resonance, the law of cause and effect, the law of polarity, and on and on and on and on. Those are all universal laws, or the ideas of how you translate how that one power within you operates through you and as you. But there's only one source and one law when we talk about the law, and that is I am. That's what the ancients were referring to. I am the law. I am the Lord. The Old Testament refers to the law as the Lord in all capital letters. I am that one power, that one existence, that one source. All these universal laws are lesser laws to the law, the one and only power and source of all that is in your entire life experience. It's knowing yourself as that law. I am the law. I've often used that scene from that TV show, The Chosen. The Chosen is the story of the teachings in the life of Jesus Christ, or your Christ consciousness. In that scene when he's in front of the Pharisees, basically telling them, I'm the Messiah. I am that I am. Right? And they're ready to stone him, right? Stone him with the facts of life, right? Condemn him to death. And he says, I am. And they said, under law, we're going to have to punish you under law. And he goes, I am the law of Moses. You are the law. Yes, there's other laws, universal laws, but there's only one law that decides your entire life. And it's not the law of assumption. It's not the practices and the techniques and the imagining and the state akin to sleep and the revision and other affirmations and other things. It's none of that. It's the law of I am. I've called this the law of identity, or some call it the law of identity. We did a recent video on this. But it's the law of I am, the law of God, the law of existence, the law of your I am awareness. And here's the distinction. It's true whether you believe it or not. It's working whether you believe it or not. It's perfect whether you believe it or not. It works whether you apply it or not. It's perfect whether you practice it or not. All other universal laws are subject to and subordinate to the law, the Lord. And there is no other. Remember, I, or I am, I in the I am, is the real self. The one and only existence, the isness of reality. And the am is the awareness of being that self. Awareness of being. I am who or that I am. The one great divine mind, the one great I am, is the Lord of law, is the Lord and Savior. Your own I am awareness is your Lord and Savior. This power that you are, remember, you're the center of it. You as the personalized, individualized, localized expression of the one. Why? Because that one power is non-local, and it's holographic, and it's impersonal, meaning it's all personalities. It's all points of consciousness. It doesn't weigh in on anything. It is all that is. It doesn't take sides. It doesn't judge. Good or bad or right or wrong or possible or impossible. It just says, yes, you're all that is. And it's everywhere, everything, everybody, all at once, non-local. Absolutely limitless power. That is all the power there is, I am. And you are that center as well as everybody else. But from your perspective, everybody else or those others, you create your version of them in your reality. There is no other. Your very own I am or self-awareness is the operant power because it operates through you and as you. There is no other. Then you create your individualized or personalized or localized frame or expression as that one. You deliberately, intentionally are limiting yourself. But what does that really mean? It just simply means to take on a viewpoint or a vantage point as all that is. You're all identities, all possibilities. But to know yourself as these all lives, all versions, all realities, you, in every moment, take on a certain perspective or viewpoint or vantage point, and that creates your entire life experience. There it is. There is no other. There's only one source, only one cause, only one creator of you and your entire life experience, past, present, and future, here and now. I am awareness. It's law. That's the one and only law. All other laws are subordinate to that law, subject to that law, under that law. So the law of assumption and attraction and frequency and vibration and correspondence and resonance and cause and effect and polarity and on and on and on. Your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, the techniques and processes and methods. The idea of reprogramming your subconscious mind and regulating your nervous system and repeating affirmations. Well, it's not that there's no truth to them. There's truth. But they're all secondary. Secondary causes, secondary causation, secondary ideas. Subordinate, subject to I am, you, your conscious awareness here and now. You're already the perfect frequency and vibration of Source because you are Source. I am. There is no other. Hear this. Each one of you carries your own unique signal that's just uniquely you. It's still all that is because there's no separation. But each point of consciousness has their own unique frequency and vibration that is the same frequency and vibration as that one source, but unique to you. What's your signal that you're sending out? Embrace your own I amness, your own unique signal, vibration, and frequency as the source that you are. Love all your weirdness. Love it all. Love all of your experiences in physical reality. You're going to say, but how can I love this? But remember, you get to determine what it all means. There is no other. So you are all that is. And everything you want to be and have, whether you believe it or not. But when you believe it, in other words, accept it as your truth, you become unstoppable. So you're it anyway, whether you believe it or not. But when you believe it, wow, you live the life of your absolute dreams. You become unstoppable. So the law of assumption, or LOA, is not the law. I know so many YouTubers and TikTokers and all these teachers and coaches are talking about it as the law. Neville Goddard, this is the law, but it's not. It's a lesser idea. Neville Goddard talked about the ultimate law within the law of, he talked about the law of assumption within the ultimate law of I am. Everything else is a concession or a permission slip taught by Neville Goddard and others, where you study and practice and apply it. And that's why the results are mixed. You treat the law and these processes and techniques as a power or source apart from and outside of your very own self-awareness. Wow. Do you see? They have no power. They have no authority. You are the power and authority. Assumption's an idea within an ultimate law of I am. Neville Goddard pointed to the utter simplicity of it all. With this idea, I mentioned this in a recent video on the Kearin channel. He would say, imagine something, anything. Accept it in gratitude and watch it come to pass. That's it. That's all there is to it. In this particular creator that posted on Facebook, well, I can't even imagine it, is because you're not knowing yourself as source. It doesn't mean you have to get some imaginal picture. It's simply a declaration, a claim, here and now, of your knowing yourself as the very source that you are. You're announcing reality in every moment. Why not announce it as the life of your absolute dreams, no matter what the changing conditions and circumstances look like? But you might say, well, I'm still not getting it. Well, then you'll never will, because that's your reality. Do you see when you say, I'm still not getting it and never will get it, or I think it's always going to be a dream? Well, you create that reality like that Facebook post. That's what it must be. There's no truth to any of that. It's just your story. Your reality. You get to create anything you want. That's why I don't worry about any of you guys. You're all source. I know. It's just us. We're all just frolicking here as source. Right? All participating in this magic, in this miracle of life itself. The ancients also pointed to this brilliant simplicity of manifesting and creating any miracle in your life. When they talked about the healing of the centurion's servant, or the faith of the centurion. And when they talk about the faith of the centurion, it was just an absolute knowing or certainty or conviction that I am. That's the conviction. I'm aware of myself, aware of my servant as always being healed. What did Jesus say, your I am awareness, or what are the ancients talking about in this story? When he healed the servant, he said, go to the centurion. It shall be done for you as you have believed. Go, think what you think, feel what you feel, see what you see, do what you do. Move in the physical experience. It will be done for you as you have believed. In other words, it's done through you and as you have been aware of yourself as that one and only source and cause of everything that you want and desire. As you have contemplated your very own I am awareness or very own I amness. Ernest Holmes in Science of Mind said God creates by contemplating his very own I amness. Then you do too, because you are one with God. There's no separation. There's only one I am. And it says here in Matthew 8:13, they just add this at the end of the story. The servant was healed that very moment. Meaning the servant's always been healed. There's only now. The servant was healed that very moment because there are infinite possibilities or realities or experiences. And you are the superimposed potential version of all of them in every moment. So you create an experience where you've always been healed. You're healed now and you will always be healed. Only you can be aware of yourself as that which you desire to be. Your very own self-awareness is your Lord and Savior. And the only one law behind your entire life, no exceptions. There is no other. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios at Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, be sure to visit us on the Tom Kearin channel. Released a video there. And for our live event this Sunday on I don't even know what month I'm in. June 30, this month, 12 noon time, not June 30, sorry, June 28th, the last Sunday of June, June 28th. We'll be sending out a reminder, an announcement. I'm all over the place. I'm everywhere, everything, everywhere all at once. June 28th at 12 noon time, we're going to have our 43rd live event, our 43rd live stream where we answer your questions. This is on the membership channel, but we do have a public live event planned or planning for this year as well. So stay tuned for that. A lot more coming. With great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.